Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Formula ROBLOX League. The racing world has gotten back to its racing as we reach the end of February. So there's going to be lots of racing going on, but FRL continues with round 7. That's right, we are halfway through this championship on FRL's premier league exclusive Roval, the Buenos Aires circuit. I am joined, as always, by the ever insightful Vascar 101.
Hi guys, everyone doing? We are back, baby. Let's go. We are ready for some good old mighty racing, and indeed, we are at Buenos Aires, the only oval. Well, actually, no, there is two ovals. Actually, you got Nagoya, and then you have Buenos Aires.
News from a few weekends ago, the Nagoya Roval has been added back to the schedule after difficulties with development on the Camino circuit in Portugal. So we will have two Rovals this season, and this is the first of two of them. Last season, season 9, it was bucketing down with rain. We'll see what the weather conditions are like as we move into the qualifying segment in approximately 3 minutes' time.
Well, 2 minutes time actually.
2 minutes
but
time. Fastest minute of my life.
no worries. But what is unique about this track is that you have parts that resembles the Charlotte Roval. There's also parts that resembles, well, the mighty Daytona Road Course that hosts the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona. And also the NASCAR race that we will not mention in 2021.
Hopefully, unlike the Daytona 500, our leader will lead a lap before he wins the race. Or maybe we'll see. I'm sure I didn't make anyone upset by making that comment. As always, my name is Gus Goose, and we are currently in the practice segment in which Andrew is setting the fastest time. Andrew has had brilliant qualifying performance at multiple points in the season, but hasn't really been able to convert it into a result. Started on pole position in round 4 and qualified P2 in round 5. But of course, the story of the championship, nothing between it. The two confirmed racing squad drivers have been absolutely dominant and have finished 1-2 at every single race so far. Teacher currently leads the way with 158 points, for Man Pifting with 140 points. Still within striking distance to take the championship lead within a few rounds, or within this round if things really go south. Going to Chris 2 remains in third place in the championship, but a bit far back with 82 points. And Abaflaki is in fourth in the Laguar, and his rookie D1 season is currently catching up to him in what might shape up to be quite a tight battle for P3 in the championship come season's end.
I mean, once again, I am ready to see some action again. Maybe seeing a new winner. That would be something to see, a new winner for the race instead of seeing the same results. Let's wait and see. Like, once again, this track, it has a lot of top speed, a lot of drafting, but also has a decent bit of technicality too, especially between sector 2 and 3. Well, yeah, sector 2 and 3 for sure. Or actually, no, sector 1 and 2. But you get what I'm saying. It's the middle end that you guys see on the track. The middle end. That's where the technicality comes in. And then you got areas that is top speed friendly. So you got best of both worlds, to be honest with you.
We currently watch the number 24 Funny Group Racing car of Gio, whose top running championship positions in Division 2 West around this time last season as he goes into the wall out of boredom. And his P5 finish here in Division 1 on that weekend saw him propel into this D1 seat, which he is finally starting to get comfortable with. We're approximately 20 seconds away from the qualifying 10 minutes, and then we'll go on to the oval race. It sounds like the one stop is generally the favorite strategy here on this track. That is the word I am hearing from all of the people who have told me so far, and it was the favorite strategy last time out. This is certainly at points a slip track, so being on the strategy where you pit later is usually optimal according to the drivers. Let's see, and it is raining. It is heavily rain now, and it will switch to light rain later, so just like last season, it is wet conditions. I'm sure this will make some drivers happy and others
finally.
Not so much. Is this our first wet race of the Division 1 season?
Well, it's here we go.
Division 2 has been absolutely soaked, but I don't think Division 1 has had as much time under the showers. So this will definitely shake up the order, or will it maybe we'll just see the same old folks on pole? All the drivers are currently on their outlaps, so we'll just talk about some other highlights going on in the broader championship. As you can expect in the team standings, Confirm Racing Squad has been absolutely dominant, claiming the most points of any team every single weekend with their 1-2 streak, and currently have 298 points. That is 175 points clear of Swift GP in second with 123 points, and Botangents Racing has 75 points in third. There is some tight battling with a range of 30 to about 60 points between Lagor Racing, Scuderia Squadra, Funagroup Racing, and Mantai Racing, as well as newcomers Lozato's HP team battling near the back of the pack with PHX Imperium and TMP Motorsports have yet to score a point in the top division of FRL and will likely seek that today if they have any entrants. I have yet to look at the entrance list.
Well, let's just say the strategies that everyone else had, because I don't know if we had a weather report. Yeah, let's just say let's throw the strategies out of the window because of the rain. If they were expecting a dry race, well, I hate to break it to you. It looks like that's not going to happen.
I'm not sure where the conditions are regarding the tires. You see in the right-hand side of your screen there are 3 blue blocks under the track condition, as well as a full raining cloud next to it, indicating that it is raining very heavily and that the track is very wet, but it is not completely soaked. Often in that graphical condition, it could be inters or it could be full wets. There's kind of a crossover point. We'll see which tire is more optimal coming down to this qualifying segment. I believe Tiedrich is on a lap and is on the full wet tire, so we'll see where he goes. We're going to ride on board with the 87 as they go into this corner. Usually flat out in the dry, having to be very careful running over the curb. You can get away with it there. There are some forgetting curbs in this track, and then you go down under this scaffolding onto the banked oval. During the endurance challenge, you stay on the oval the entire time. I'm not sure if you tap the wall there, but he continues. Tiedrich Boyd down into this short little chicane. Reminds me of the Le Mans chicane from the Daytona Roval during the ROBLOX 24. You dip into the gravel, then quickly rise up back onto the oval. This corner sneaks up onto you. It's very tight, right up there. And obviously, being the first driver out is setting all the pace, but nobody else has been able to top him in the first sector. 2 purples for Tiedrich so far, the qualifying master so far in FRL history. Currently looking to become the second best qualifier of all time. Currently third on the all-time list of pole positions. We'll go to the line. We'll see what the benchmark time is for all the other drivers to beat. It's a long run to the line now, dipping below the apron on the oval. It is a 1 minute 40.979. That is what the other drivers have to beat.
Once again, you said it yourself. We're at that kind of that turnover between the wet and the intermediates. So is someone's going to be very daring to use the intermediates and try to put a fast time? You know, having the guts to do it, but with a cost of, you know, a bit more less grip, or is it going to be more of a safe game than a risk factor?
This is a very long track. If you go out on the wrong tire and the lap doesn't connect for you, you've wasted a run, and that is a very large portion of the qualifying segment. The fastest lap is a 1 minute 40, almost 2 minutes, and there's 5.5 minutes left on the clock. So that's the risk if you go out on the wrong tire. You will waste a run and possibly have to put in a banker lap at the end, if you even have time to, as Italy is, though, will run down to the line. Currently no time set, and is up to 6 for the PHX Imperium driver. 2 seconds between first and sixth. You see the rain often causes a spread like this as Gio is fighting in traffic. I'm not sure. I believe
he's fighting the car.
Flying lap.
It's more like he's fighting the car than anything else. I see a bit of understeer there. Oh, did he went off? No, he did it. It looks like it's good. Not too bad, not too shabby.
Chris Cross went off the track, but Chris Cross was on an out lap, so he might have been getting out of the way. I believe Gio is on a flying lap. Ran very well in these conditions last season in Division 1. His man Pifting is 1.2 seconds behind his rival. I'm curious what tire he went out on for that lap. Gio rises onto the banked oval. And there should be a sector line coming up soon, so we'll see if it's a flying lap or an out lap. Very long gaps between these sectors here at Buenos Aires. Really clean lap so far. I'm not noticing any particular mistakes for the 24 Funny Group Racing driver, who is running a special livery this weekend, as is the whole team. They are on a flying lap so far. 2 personal bests, having not set a time, not currently troubling the top driving's time. Let's see what Gio can do through this final difficult chicane.
Back that little. Oh. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just want to let you know that chicane is definitely from or inspired of by the Daytona NASCAR run course. We will not talk about
that. Okay. Gio pops up to 7th, exactly 2 seconds off of the chicane of deep and rich references to the real-life ovals and rovals of the world, as Going Chris 2, currently 3rd in the championship, yet to trouble a time, still on their first flying lap, with 3.5 minutes left to go on the clock. As I mentioned earlier, if you waste a run, as we see, it's a brief glitch in the stream, but everyone is still moving. If you waste a run, then you might have to do it all on the final banker. I do not think they have enough time for another flying lap after this. I think they might just barely make it if they're quick. Man Pifting has set a fastest middle sector. We'll follow that lap. The number 7 driver is currently in one of the final corners. The Confirmed Racing Squad champion of old is looking to challenge his teammate, who has never won a championship. Man Pifting looking to become the most successful driver of all time by FRL championships. That isn't the lap to do it. Improves by 0.6 of a second, but not enough to improve position. Starting to leave the field behind, as the top 4 on the track are as they are in the championship. Tier Chelvam is up to 5th, very impressive lap. Play Games in 11th, usually runs very well at these slip races, but is currently struggling in qualifying form over this season, compared to seasons of old, of course. Sebastian Canto up to 6th, very good lap. As Tax goes up to 7th. We see Play Games attacking. Go on.
Oh, no worries. We're still trying to knock some rust out of us. Yeah, we're not seeing huge improvements. The closest person that's there to even contend against TJ is Man Pifting, but that's only by 0.6 though. So TJ still has a decent bit of an advantage for sure.
Play Games is on a flying lap. This is probably going to be their final flying lap. There's no time for another out lap afterward, as Sussy Imposter 2244 goes up to 9th position, demotes Kit Kat to the bottom of the top 10. Pedrick has set the fastest first sector and is leaving the field behind even more, proving why they are the all-time star in qualifying in FRL Division 1 history, in all divisions, in fact, taking into account. They are one of the best qualifiers. 3rd most poles of all drivers. Currently, the field is backed up by Lepre, who is 9 seconds. Probably had some misadventures on that lap and hoping to improve next time round. I do believe they are on that lap. The drivers are now on their final flyers, and they will determine their qualifying position for the race.
Right now, it's looking in favor of TJ. Fastest sector 2, flying through into, what is it, 3 and 4? Yeah, flying through 3 and 4, and going to take that bus stop chicane at near the Tri-Oval. What? Now heading to the
something spectacular. I think they hit the wall. I'm not sure. Will they leave the field further behind? One of the all-time masters in FRL qualifying is already on provisional pole with 2 purple sectors, but they had hit the wall in the final one and doesn't improve. Play Games up to 2nd place, 4/10 off the pole time. What an improvement from them.
Fastest sector 1, Man Pifting
up to 6th in their first lap.
Pifting got purple sector on 2nd. He's going for a flying.
Now it's time for Man Pifting to respond, who set a purple first sector, if my eyes do not deceive me, and has a long run to get to the line. The checkered flag is out. These are the final laps to determine the grid for the Buenos Aires Argentine Grand Prix of FRL Season 10 Division 1.
Heading to Lamar chicane. Heading to 3 and 4. NASCAR 3 and 4.
No improvements from Tax and Sussy Imposter or Sebastian Cateau. They're locked into place. Brawl Stars
Red.
Master jumps up to 13th on the final lap. We'll see what happens for Manpifting,
Oh,
who did not
Chris.
improve in the middle sector. But remember, T-Jerk hit the wall in their final sector and had to stick to their first time. Manpifting still could challenge as Going Chris 2 jumps up to third. Tiered Shelvam up to fifth. We look to the champion of old, the number 7, black and yellow, Confirmed Racing Squad driver. Will this be another pole position for Manpifting? No, second place.
No.
It's a 1-2 for Confirmed Racing Squad again, as the final driver on the track is the 24 of Geo. No improvement in the first sector, but improvement in the second sector. Oh, but they've slid into the wall. They've given up. And that confirms the Confirmed Racing Squad team as 1 and 2, but a brilliant lap from Play Games 2003. And I will double check. I believe, yes, that is their first top 3 start in season 10.
Oh, all right. We're heading to the mighty grid. Look at the track is absolutely soaked. We are at soaked. That means, well, intermediate tires. Yeah, let's just take those tires and just not even worry. Let's go full on wets. Let's have a mighty fun race.
But the rain will lighten up soon. Will we see the intermediate tires later on? The heavens have opened here at Buenos Aires. Get ready. Hold on to your seats. FRL Season 10 hits the halfway mark as the 5 red lights illuminate. Pause. Let's go at Buenos Aires. T-Jerk will lead the field to green in the long run down to the first corner in the black and yellow 87. Confirmed Racing Squad. Manpifting is already challenging for the lead as we have a slight glitch in the stream. And through the haze comes the top 3 as they qualified. Play Games looking to have one of his iconic slip races of old that saw him win in Pomodoro last season and just miss out on the win here last season. Going Chris down the inside becomes the outside line on Play Games. Can't make the move now into the very treacherous chicane. They've not taken this in soaked conditions yet. Will all them get through cleanly? The top 2 will, and they start to leave the back 3 behind. Sebastian Couteau had a misadventure in the chicane and is down to 10th place.
Right now, we're seeing a battle between Pifting and TJ. They're battling pretty crazy, especially that now they're in the wet race. Chris and Play Games, this could also play a bit of a factor if they want to, if they really want a rain race. Let's just wait and see. But right now, it's currently a battle between the Confirmed Racing Squad team.
Kit Kat had a relatively middling qualifying and has briefly jumped up to 5th position, now overtaken by Eva Flackies and down to 6th, meeting with old Division 2 East Championship rival 2 Chelvam, who is in 7th. Andrew is in this fight as well. It's tight in the mid-pack. It's also tight out in front. Play Games is attempting to overtake Going Chris 2 using the slipstream on the banked oval. They run low just by the apron. Can he make a move into this next corner? It's tight on the brakes in these wet conditions. Play Games noses ahead into the corner. Can they maintain it? No. Going Chris 2 snatches the position back and remains on the podium position on the opening tour of the Buenos Aires Roval. Manpifting now leads from T-Jerk, 0.3 of a second, nothing between them. Currently sets the fastest opening tour, and therefore is the fastest mover on that first lap. Going Chris 2 is in second, then Play Games from Ava Flackies, Kit Kat, Geo, Tax, Andrew, and Italy's, though, round out the top 10. Chio Chelvam has had some misadventures and dropped down to 11th place. Sussy Imposter in 12th rounds out the points paying positions. Manpifting has lost the lead to T-Jerk, and they will trade this lead back and forth the entire race. Such is the nature of a track like this, a slipstream track. As Old at the Machi, I believe it's pronounced, or Mochi, is up into the points position and currently challenging Chio Chelvam for 11th place. Who had some misadventures. Fighting with Lepri. They are teammates for this race, if I'm not mistaken. Down the inside, making the tighter line, tucking into the slipstream. The track will change directions here into the treacherous left-hander. You can barely see right in front of you with the mist and the spray. Can't make a move on this occasion. Play Games is up to 2nd place.
Wait, what's happening? Yeah, Pifting lost quite a few positions. It lost a bit of time. What happened to Pifting?
It was 0.1 of a second earlier. Manpifting is now 1.7 seconds behind the leader. If there's any track you can get it back on, it's this one. But that's not ideal for the driver looking to be the most successful champion of all time. Diedrich currently leads in his bid to become a champion for the first time in his FRL career. Play games, 3 tenths behind. No stakes in this championship fight. Can stick behind the leaders and possibly snatch a win later. But they were slow off that corner, I believe. And they've now fallen away from Diedrich, 1.3 seconds, and will fall into the clutch of Gomi Chris 2 and Man Pifting, who's looking to get back up to the front. A gap is forming from this battle back to Avaflakis in 5th.
My goodness, this is what I meant. When rain plays a factor, the weather patterns is all over the place. Strategies goes out the window, and you just gotta play by sheer luck. And right now, Play Games is playing the biggest luck of the game of so far. And not even just that, we're also seeing Gomi Chris also contending. Now we're seeing four different cars battling. This is actually going to be something that's going to be a bit fun. TJ, he could be shaking his boot right now. This is what we wanted to see, is mighty fine racing over here at Buenos Aires.
Diedrich runs in front and is now under pressure from Play Games 2003 behind. Gomi Chris 2 sweeps down the inside on the Roval and takes the position, but Play Games can switch back into the slipstream, into the corner as it did before. Nothing doing for now through the mist and the spray. Gomi Chris 2 maintains that position as the slipstream brings these drivers back into contention. Diedrich seems to be looking ahead and not behind. Unable to break the slipstream. There's no use in it. There's so much slipstream on this track. All he has to do is just put in fast laps, run tight to the curbs, and force his rivals to take difficult lines to stay in the slipstream, right over curbs and over corners, and force them to make corner cut mistakes, as they have already in this race so far on the 3rd tour of the Buenos Aires Roval.
This is just absolutely insane to see. I don't know what's going on with Pifting, but he is losing a bit of time, and he's losing a bit of time fast. And for Play Games, it's the opposite. For this rain coming in, his skills is starting to really show. Right now he's actually 2 tenths off, well, almost 3 tenths off. He is actually getting close to TJ more than ever. And right now, Gomi Chris 2 is not too far off. 9 tenths off from TJ. This is actually just exciting to see. But right now, what is going on with Pifting? Pifting is, hang on. Oh, that could be a glitch of the system. No, it's not a glitch of the system. Pifting's losing a lot of time. He's in 6th place. What is going on?
Pifting falls down to 6th place. A disaster in the mist and the haze has likely seen him go off track and fallen out of the front running contention and out of the leading slip battle. He's going to have to work hard to get back up to there, but if anyone could do it, it's Man Pifting. But a disastrous race for one of the championship contenders. Diedrich, the model of consistency out in front, has to keep Play Games behind. Play Games, nothing to lose, and Diedrich, nothing to lose with Play Games, as Play Games makes a mistake as well, and Gomi Chris 2 now jumps into the lead. Play Games is slow off the corner. It looks like he's coming to a stop. The Italian driver, the 21, a winner last season, seeing a chance to win today, slip away now. What has happened to the Scuderia Squadra driver? They appear to still be moving, and they have regained control. Likely some kind of controller internet failure happened there. What a shame for a driver of such talent. And now Gomi Chris 2 is left all alone in 2nd place with about a second in front and behind. Will look to catch up to the leader and possibly get a first win. Gomi Chris 2, a driver who debuted last season in Division 1, made a lot of impact on the series. Lots of podiums and pole positions for a driver so soon in their career, but yet to score a win, and we're looking to do that today. Play Games was the only driver not in the championship fight last season to win a race, but it looks like today will not be that day.
Yeah, once again, as I said, with racing, with the wet race, as I said before, and this is proving my point, the strategies are thrown out of the window, and this has just later just proved my point right then and there. When it rains, things change for some reason. Everything is thrown out of the window when it comes to rain. And now we see crazy moments and seeing heartbreaks. Oh, it looks like we might have a first retirement, Brawl Stars. I
Brawl
think
Stars
is
has
that right?
retired from 13th place in this race, I believe, 13th or 14th. Despite the fact that Play Games had quite a misadventure and has fallen to the rear of the pack, Play Games has not retired from this race and continues running. This has done wonders for Man Pifting, who is up to third place already. As the rain starts to subside, the track is soaked still, but the rain has lightened up. It will not clear up in the next 30 minutes, so chances are we will stay wet for this entire race. But now we can see the cars more clearly, and the track will likely start draining just a bit, and intermediate tires might come in soon. This is a condition of racing I've never seen before. The track is fully wet, but the rain has lightened up. This will be interesting to see as Abaflakis wards off Man Pifting and Kit Kat, Play Games teammate, who is now running at the front despite a relatively middling qualifying position. Consistent laps and mistakes from others has put Kit Kat up into 5th place in the battle for the podium. Good news for Man Pifting is that the drivers in front have started to have some misadventures, and that's what Tijek is able to do. He has a better feel for the grip and the lines on this track, at least so far in this race from what we've seen. And to stay in contention in this race, you have to stay in the slipstream, as we see Eva Flackies ward off his rivals. You have to stay in the slipstream. Tijek is able to run very tight lines against the curbs, forcing his rivals to try the same and forcing them into mistakes like you have seen so far today from Man Pifting and from Play Games, though it's still most likely that was some kind of controller failure because that isn't usually a place that you slow down that much. As we see Matt Pifting slow down in the exact position I just
Oh
mentioned, off that corner, the number 7 driver is having more misadventures. This is turning into quite an appalling race for the championship contender and usually a model of consistency.
no! Whoa, hang on, go, Chris. 2 tenths off, 2 tenths off, 3 tenths off now.
Going
Oh,
Chris 2
this is.
now in the slip race for the lead, technically still in the championship fight, goes
Oh,
onto
he's
pit lane.
pitting.
They're going to gamble on a different set of tires as the track has gone from condition 4 to condition 3. Just wet. Man Pifting responds in kind as we see the Confirm Racing Squad drivers not pit on the same time like they usually do, but he's low in his box. The difficulties continue for Man Pifting.
Oh
Something about these
no!
wet conditions
No!
are ruining this model of consistency. The other Chris is also in pit lane, as is Sussy Imposter and Lepre, drivers further back who are gambling. The rest of the field are still on the blue walled full wet tire as opposed to the green walled intermediate tire. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in future. We'll have to watch the sector times of those drivers on the less treaded wet tire.
Now this is just quite something to see. Literally, we're seeing a weird strategy with the wets, like with the wet style tires, the intermediates and the full blown blue wets. Seeing those strategies are being in place, so causing a distraction, but creating another type of consistency of strategy. Fascinating.
Going Chris 2 and Man Pifting were running very close to each other. Man Pifting had that mistake and then was long in the box, the number 7 crew receiving him in pit lane. You can see just the gap between Going Chris 2, 17 seconds off the leader, and Man Pifting almost 10 seconds back from who he was fighting. Not a good day so far for the number 7 driver, but his teammate out in front now has a 4-second lead with his rivals pitting. Kit Kat runs in second. Avaflakis runs in third. Tax is up to fourth, having a relatively quiet weekend. We'll see if they'll call a better pit position as the leader is in pit lane.
Yeah, Gus, look, the track is now in condition 2 and just regular wet. So that means the track is drying up a decent bit, but I think this is where we're just going to be from now on in condition 2. So that means intermediates is the way to go.
More drivers
and
long in their
Missed.
box.
Oh,
The wet grip
no.
is catching them out. We'll see if the drivers who pitted did well. Goemi Chris 2 has taken the lead of the race. And I believe they are on the intermediate tire. Man Pifting has gone up to 5th. T-Jerk is now 2 seconds back, having been undercut with the wet strategy by Goemi Chris 2, who called this race beautifully so far.
Oh, this is awesome to see. This is what I call racing right here.
We'll see if Goemi Chris 2 can maintain that gap, because T-Jerk is starting to crawl into that slipstream advantage, but now Goemi Chris 2 has put themselves in the box seat to at least contend for the front running positions. Has anybody yet to stop in this race? I Old at the Mochi is the only one still running on the full wet tire, and they're going to have to get off that very soon. It is far from its ideal conditions, and they will likely fall out of contention as Tir Chelvam has a small misadventure and loses 2 positions down to 11th place.
This is absolutely terrific. Like just I'm just like everyone else watching this. This is completely new, completely random, and this is completely crazy to see with strategies being bold. Look at Chris, purple sector two. Forgo me, Chris. He is going into the trioval, and let's see if he pulls a purple. Oh, he does a 138.1 a 138.812. The new fastest
Chris
lap.
do sets the
Absolute trick.
fastest time of the weekend, but
Oh!
Man 50 immediately takes it back as now the track is drying or has dried out somewhat. It's still wet, and on the Optimum tires, drivers are now setting very fast lap times compared to what they're doing on the wet tire. Man Pifting and Kit Kat going wheel to wheel into the first corners. Man Pifting on the inside becomes the outside line, tucks onto the curb, and noses ahead of Kit Kat. We'll see how they fare into the chicane. They are wheel to wheel, and it is Man Pifting who will maintain the position up into third place already, but about 6 or 5 seconds back from T-Jerk, although Man Pifting has now set the fastest first sector, immediately taken away by Geo in 8th place. All the drivers are finding more and more grip and more lap time with every single lap that passes. Goemi Chris 2 is leading and has actually taken some time away from T-Jerk and is in the box seat to lead this field for now.
Yeah, this is actually just interesting to see. It looks like TJ might have made a mistake because now he's 3 seconds back. He's back to 3 seconds now. So it looks like Chris. Oh, I think TJ's starting to get a bit of pressure because Chris is holding the position, and he is keeping a cool head. It looks like TJ is not happy with that undercut at all because we're starting to see some mistakes being pulled in.
Play games in battle with Sebastian Coteau outside of the points has taken the fastest purple sector. The driver, who was 3/10 off the lead early in the race before some technical issues, is still racing and still has a chance to get some points here today as he attempts to climb up the order.
This is just absolutely awesome. By the way, just to let you know, Chris did get that. Oh, never mind. It looks like Chevin gets
3 has now taken the fastest lap, the reigning Division 2 East champion in 10th place. The fastest lap is being traded up and down the field as we're finally seeing some red sectors from the front runners as Goemi Chris 2 settles into a rhythm out in front and is starting to lose a bit of that lead to T-Jerk, but still enough, I believe, to keep out of the slipstream risk and is starting to pull that gap once again as we watch Andrew put pressure onto Geo with Tiru behind. We'll see if in the slipstream Andrew can make this corner. It is still wet conditions, but the visibility has much improved as Geo has trouble over the corner and Andrew swoops by the number 41 driver up into 8th place, past Geo, F1 Magnu 12 in the Funny Group Racing, who has now been overtaken by Tiru Chelv M3, but they go wheel to wheel onto the banked oval. Tiru has the inside line and takes the position for now, but into the chicane, Geo can fight back and does so onto the curbs. Geo takes it back once again in 9th place as we have another banked turn onto the oval. Tiru Chelvam noses ahead once again as Andrew is pulling away from both these two.
Look at the battle for podium.
Andrew is leaving them behind as T-Jerk once again takes away the fastest lap and has pulled about a second away from Goemi Chris 2 out in front as Goemi Chris 2 starts to set some red sectors and settle into a rhythm. And Pifting cannot clear Kit Kat, which is not what he needs in this fight. He wants to be out in front, challenging the leaders for points, and needs to reduce the possible impact. As the track has now gone damp, you can still run intermediates in condition 1, as you see on the right side of your screen, so we're not sure if it's time for dries just yet. Sussy Imposter is taking a risk, it would seem, and might be switching onto the slick tire. We'll keep an eye on him to see if that is the opportune moment to be on that tire. It might be just a bit too soon.
I don't know. Anything can happen. Anything can go. If he can run a dry tire on a damp conditions, then then take the risk, take the bold risk.
It is a big risk because the crossover point is somewhere within there in track condition one. So it's no guarantee which tire to be on in the damp conditions. I've learned this the hard way in many races. Once a race was that way the entire time, and it was always dries. Another time it was like that the entire time, and it was always intermediates. I've also seen it be both ways and transition back and forth. The rain has not stopped and looks like it won't stop for the remainder of this race. Which tire has Imposter switched onto as Manpifting takes point away from Kit Kat into third place? But Kit Kat again starts to nose back, is not letting the former champion go on this one. The last time was champion in season 8. Kit Kat is not letting him go and is
Chris
contending
gets
for
the
the podium.
fastest. Chris gets the fastest lap, but oh man, this is just. Oh, I'm losing my mind a little bit. This is some good racing right here. We're seeing something. Play Games is pitting. I think he might be going for slicks.
We'll see what the number 21 crew puts on that driver. We are seeing hard tires from Old of the Mochi and Sussy Imposter 2244. I'm not sure when Mochi pitted onto that. It's
He's
mediums
going for
for
me.
play games. Probably the fastest, so far in this race, one of the faster drivers to be on that tire so far based on previous lap times. That'll be a big determining factor on whether this is the right strategy to be on. They're outside of the points. They might as well take that chance. It's a massive track, so there's minimal risk of going a lap down. Going Chris 2 is still leading and has pulled back that approximately 3-second gap to T-Jerk, and it's an additional 6 seconds from T-Jerk to Manpifting, who has cleared Kit Kat somewhat, only 1/10 of a second still, as they both pull away from Havaflackies, showing the importance of the slipstream. Havaflackies had been putting in some great laps before and running with the leaders, but once you fall out of sync with them, then you are unable to get back into that slipstream, and so is the nature of slipstream racing. Tax is in 6th place, Geo 7th, Italy as though is in 8th too. Chelvam has fallen down to 9th. Andrew rounds out the top 10. Crisscross OMG is in 11th, Sebastian Cateau in 12th, and outside the points we have Lepre, and then the Slick Runners Play Games, Ola Matu, and Sussy Imposter 2244 are gambling on slicks, and they are setting. Sussy Imposter is setting personal best, but he's not lighting the track on fire, so we might be vaguely around the crossover point. Sebastian Cateau, next driver to gamble on new tires. Lepre follows suit.
Absolutely. Right now, going me Chris. He is pulling a master strategy so far. He is in the lead. He pulled an undercut. He read the weather conditions and he read it beautifully. He is leading the race ahead of the confirmed racing squad. That we haven't seen the confirmed racing squad being challenged quite like this until now. And now we're seeing Pifting still being trying to defend his position against Kit Kat. Kit Kat is just on his tail, waiting and clawing his way to podium position, breaking apart the confirmed racing squad consistency of podium positions. Right
Kit
now,
Kat briefly
50.
nosed ahead, but went into the wall, going onto the oval, and has fallen
Oh
out of sync
my!
with Manpifting.
But he can come back though. He can come back.
Onto the main bank straight, past the grid lines. Kit Kat is in the slipstream. We are seeing time fall away once again from the leader to second place, but he's proven in the past that he can claw that back. Half a second between Kit Kat and Manpifting. We'll see if he can claw something back from that mistake where he tapped the wall rising on the oval. It is down to 3/10, almost down to 2/10 of a second going into the first corner. Now he has to stick with the confirmed racing driver through the first corners into the tight chicane, as Crisscross OMG is the next driver to pit. But I'm not seeing massive gulps of time for the slick runners, as Play Games does set a purple middle sector, but has a relatively unimpressive first sector. So it seems to vary depending on where you are in the track and how much grip you need. On the banked ovals, I suppose it might be better because that is a prominent amount of that second place. Play Games does set the fastest lap of the race with only one purple sector. So even though the first and third sector on the dry isn't very impressive, that middle sector you can make up a lot of time, and Play Games has therefore crawled his way up into the points position as other drivers pit. Is this the time to go on slicks, or is it safer to not take that pit stop gap and just eke it out on the wet tire? That is the question the drivers will have to answer today.
I mean, once again, you say yourself, it's either or. We're not seeing huge improvements from this for the people on the slicks, and we're seeing people on the intermediates holding their ground as much as they can as well, doing pretty well. Right now, Chris is in the lead, and TJ is trying to do what he can, trying to gain time, but he's not getting as much. Looks like he is not having a good time with the strategy at the moment. Hefting is defending for his ever dearing life for P3. So this is a bit of a scary situation for the Confirmed Racing squad.
The 33 crew for Italy is, though, and the PHX Imperium team receives their driver and is the next driver to pit onto tires. We'll see where he comes out relative to Play Games. That'll be a good indicator of if the undercut is strong enough. And looks like he's got quite a gap on Play Games. Play Games is at speed, but Italy is, though, will stay ahead. So possibly it was still too soon to stay out on slicks, despite setting the fastest lap, which is now taken away by the TMP Motorsport driver of Lepre 28 and 15th. Italy, as though, still maintains that position. So perhaps it was too early to be on slicks, but there is time to gain later on in the race. Even though there is still no sign of the rain clearing up completely, we are on the crossover point on condition 1 damp track.
Absolutely. Currently, we're seeing quite a bit of a battle. I'm so sorry if you hear anything on the background. Bear with me on that. Continue commentary, Gus. Hang on one moment.
As he deals with a mysterious sound in the back of his room, Kit Kat is still hounding Man Pifting, despite tapping the wall quite hard earlier from what I saw. The slipstream has allowed him to stay up with them as they are in pit lane. The 7 and the 13 are on pit lane. It looks like they are gambling with the slick tire, looking to possibly snatch away a win if they can. Both drivers looking to improve form in this championship after very strong moments in season 9 in their own different sections.
Ooh, look at that. Kit Kat goes ahead.
Kit Kat noses ahead on pit lane. It looks like the 13 crew pull out a better stop than the 7 crew. In fact, it's quite a significant gap of time. But still, we see no response from the drivers out in front. These are some fast front-running drivers so far in this race, as Crisscross OMG sets the fastest time. The track is still drying out slowly. We'll see if the leaders respond. They might have to soon, or they will be at risk. If these drivers are faster, they will undercut them and take the lead of this race. T-Jerk has clawed back up to less than a second. Perhaps Going Chris 2 has made some kind of mistake. He's back in the slipstream race. That large gap that Going Chris 2 had has faded away. Perhaps his intermediate tires are losing their grip due to wear or due to the drying condition of the track. These two are fighting it out now on their own. Will they come down to pit lane? That is the question.
Yeah, this just changes a lot of things, changes everything. Right now, is would you want to pit but risk of not winning the race?
We have a
Or
slight stream difficulty currently. Oh, it is
oh,
back
I'll be right
now
back.
as 1.4 seconds between Gomi Chris 2 and T-Jerk Boy out in front. It seems T-Jerk had some kind of misadventure on that lap. Gomi Chris 2 has been able to pull gaps away, but they're still in that slipstream range. They don't come down to pit lane. They are staying out on their intermediate tires as it stands right now. Crisscross OMG has the fastest lap, but is no longer improving. And Kit Kat, I believe, is the leading driver on slicks in 7th place and is on the tail of the drivers who are running intermediates, if I'm not mistaken. So we are seeing these two trains now start to merge together as Kit Kat overtakes Tiro them. And now the two strategies are currently interlaced. Do you stay out on the intermediate tires and not take that pit stop gap, or do you gamble on the slicks and hope to gain back time and undercut rivals, or even just plain catch up to the back of them and reap big points today? There are points on offer for drivers who don't usually get the big points if they are careful, as Man Pifting overtakes Tirchelvem and is now up into the intermediate running strategy. Drivers now has some time to catch up to KitKat, who is on the same strategy. They are both sighting their way to the field as it stands right now.
Yeah, currently, once again, currently, there's just the way that the strategies are. I think the track is going to stay damp for the remainder of the race. Yeah, we're definitely not going to see the track drying up um, by
Race
the
leaders
end.
in. The race leaders are in. They had
Um,
about an 11-second gap to Avaflakis, so they can take a minimum loss from this pit as Avaflakis is also in. We now have to watch KitKat and see where he comes out relative. They believe that it is time for slicks. Tax is in. Geo is in. T-Jerk has taken back the lead of this race in the pit stops. But look out for the driver of the 13. Has he taken the lead of
oh
this
my
race?
goodness.
He
He
has, but
does.
barely. KitKat leads in Division 1 Season 10 here in Buenos Aires on lap 18, but doesn't have a whole lot of time behind the drivers on new, fresher tires. We see all the drivers are in. The order has well and truly been mixed up as T-Jerk and Pifting, despite their varying fates in this race, have found each other together again on the racetrack. 0.3 of a second between them. No matter what happens, these two always seem to intertwine in fate. Going Chris 2 led a large portion of this lap, but had a rough pit stop and is now down to 4th place. Avaflakis is also in and gained about 2 seconds on the leaders, but that's still about a 9-second gap that he has to contend with, so he might not be available for a podium position. Nothing between these leaders. This looks like now the race for this lead, and the race is being controlled by KitKat.
This is just absolutely just crazy to see strategies happening, seeing just things to change. Right now, we're going to be heading to 19 out of 22. Right now, TJ is trying to get the lead back, but now the top four is bunched together again. So let's just see how things are going to go. That's all I can really say, really.
To put into perspective, KitKat's best D1 finish in Season 9 was 9th place. His best D1 finish in Season 10 is 8th place, and is currently fighting for the lead of this race, and was putting pressure constantly for most of the race on the champion of old, Man Pifting, and is now trying to do the same thing to T-Jerk, who has taken the lead of this race from KitKat, as KitKat begins to fall out of sync with the leaders, but is still in that slipstream and can still challenge today. Big points on offers for a team who don't usually run out in front. The heavens have opened up at Buenos Aires and mixed up the entire grid.
Absolutely, for sure. Once again, it's not over till it's over. Let's have some fun. Let's have some racing.
Sussy Imposter is the first driver to pit from a slick to another slick, having been on the mediums many laps ago and has probably run out of tread on that tire as Lepre overtakes Andrew and puts TMP Motorsports into the points paying positions. That team still yet to score a point in Division 1. KitKat is starting to fall away from T-Jerk right now as Geo sets the fastest first sector in 8th place and is looking to overtake Crisscross OMG for 7th.
Right
Man
now,
Pifting is
we're
now closer to KitKat as KitKat taps the wall, and KitKat is to T-Jerk. T-Jerk out in front again. Geo has set the fastest 2 sectors of this race, but the fastest second sector is immediately taken away by Tirchelvem in 11th place.
3 laps to go. Let's see how this is going to go. We have 3 laps left. Can Kit Kat pull the position, or is it going to be another TJ victory? Right now, we're seeing the
usually
battle.
takes the fastest lap. Geo takes it away. We'll see if Tirchelvem, with his fastest second sector, could do so. No, it's a rough third sector for Tirchelvem. The fastest lap belongs to Geo, who is currently running in 6th place, 1 position behind where he finished in the same race in the same division last season. Chris 2 is now hounding Man Pifting for the position as Man Pifting is falling out of sync. and is trying to get back into the podium. Will this be the first time this season that a confirmed racing driver doesn't finish in the top 2, let alone on the podium? Going Chris 2 takes away third position.
But can Pifton pull a roundabout? Let's see.
1.6 seconds out in front. T-Jerk is starting to leave Kit Kat behind. On their slick tires, T-Jerk has once again come into his own out in front. Going Chris 2 is in the podium positions, but we are still seeing a confirmed racing squad driver out in front. It's now 2 seconds. The model of consistency in Season 10, T-Jerk, is still unable to be defeated, it seems, by the grid as he's pulling more and more time. That's bad news for Going Chris 2 and Matt Pifting, who are hoping to challenge for a win today. That gap in front of Kit Kat has caused them a lot of trouble. They're going to have to make that up on their own, as well as having to pass Kit Kat, who has proven to be rather difficult to overtake so far in this race. Kit Kat wants a first podium in his Division 1 career. Going Chris 2 wants to improve his position up to second place. Best result so far in his career of third. Round the outside, down into the inside. They cross over horizontally and laterally. They'll have to go into the chicane. We'll see as man Pifting is still with both of them. Going Chris jumps over the curb, catches air, and goes wide as Kit Kat takes back the position, is now under pressure from man Pifting. A dramatic moment for the Swift GP driver, going up into the air and losing both positions tragically for him, but noses back ahead of man Pifting as it goes into the gravel.
Oh no, he went. Oh no!
As Kit Kat is starting to leave these two behind as they battle, but man Pifting is right on top of the driver who he's been trying to overtake for the entire race. The 13 and the 7 are going wheel to wheel down into the chicane. We'll see which one of them comes out on top as we are on the penultimate lap of this race. For the race leader, T-Jerk is pulling in a bigger and bigger gap. It was T-Jerk, Kit Kat led by about a second coming out of the pits, and now Kit Kat is 2.8 seconds behind as man Pifting does take the second position. Will we see a confirmed racing squad 1-2 again? Despite all the chaos and despite all the danger, Kit Kat is starting to fall out of sync with his rival, going on to the main straight as they start their penultimate lap as well.
It's not penultimate lap. This is the final lap of the race.
White flag, sponsored by North Macedonian Wi-Fi. T-Jerk is in the lead. 3 seconds is the gap he has left his competitors behind, who are still scrapping to sort out how this podium will play out. Man Pifting won't cede position to Kit Kat. Kit Kat wants to get a second place, won't be content with a third place, but will still seems to score a best result of his Division 1 career so far, which, to remind you, is 8th place. Kit Kat down the inside of man Pifting, front wheel to rear wheel. That inside line will become the outside line. He can switch back laterally across his rival. In the slipstream, can he make the position? No, the tires are just falling away from him. They both ride onto the Argentine-colored curbs. Kit Kat is right with man Pifting. This is the corner that seems to cause them often trouble when they have to rise back onto the banked oval. Kit Kat is nosing ahead of man Pifting. This is the battle for second place. The battle for the podium is going to be Chris 2 is still behind both of them. T-Jerk has left them behind. Man Pifting can't leave behind Kit Kat. Will the order be restored of a confirmed racing squad 1-2 perfect this season? Not if Kit Kat has anything to say with it, but man Pifting on the inside line takes the position back.
I see what Kit Kat's doing.
Restoring a confirmed racing squad 1-2 as going to be Chris 2 is attempting to stay in the slipstream of man Pifting. Into the final corner goes this battle. Out in front, T-Jerk once again dominates in Formula ROBLOX League Season 10. He will take the win here in Argentina. But for the podium, who's it going to be? Man Pifting denies his rivals once again as Going Me Chris 2 snatches the podium position away just at the end, and Kit Kat is denied his first ever Division 1 podium, but scores a best ever result of P4. Ava Flackies is in 5th. Gio takes home the fastest lap in 6th. Tax in 7th. Italy is though in 8th. Crisscross OMG in 9th. Tiru in 10th. Play Games comes home in 11th despite losing connection to his controller. Will still get some points, but hope for more. Andrew is back into the points in 12th. And TMP Motorsports will have to wait for their first points in the championship for another race long. Old One at the Machi and Sussy Imposter 2244 will round out the field for a wet and wild race in Buenos Aires here this morning.
My, my, my. This was one of the most craziest races I have ever even witnessed in FRL. Absolutely splendid. Simply lovely.
And despite all of that, it's still a confirmed Racing Squad 1-2.
Ugh.
Because of course it is. They continue their domination of this championship this season. But if all the races are like that, maybe I don't mind at all. Car 101, who is your driver of the day?
I mean, it's gonna be between Kit Kat or Chris. That was just awesome driving, especially that Kit Kat was just putting pressure on Pifting on the good portions of that race. It was just it was quite something for sure.
Goimi, Chris 2, and Kit Kat both called brilliant strategies. Both of them led this race briefly. I cannot capture my words anymore. But I will have to give it to Kit Kat, who ultimately made the better
Yeah.
call, but Goimi, Chris 2 took it on track. Just to confirm the order one more time, T Jerk Boy is your race winner from Manpifting. Then Going Me Chris 2 rounds out the podium, an order we've been quite used to this season. Going Me Chris 2, the most consistent third place finisher of this championship so far. Kit Kat in fourth, Emma Flacky's in fifth, Geo in sixth, and Tex was in seventh. We have in eighth place, I cannot read Italy's though, then Crisscross OMG is in ninth, Tier Travel Up is in 10th. Play Games gets points despite having issues early on in the race and falling to the back of the pack. Good strategy calls from him. Andrew's in 12th, then outside the points is Lepri, Old at the Mochi, and Sussy Imposter 2244. Why don't you tell the folks who you are?
I'm Bascar 101, the utterly shocked Bascar 101.
And my name is Gus the Goose. Thank you for joining us for our coverage of Division One. Don't go anywhere because in approximately 3 hours, we will have Division Two West on the same track as Leo Parter looks to maintain his dominant championship run so far. As one of his rivals is, two of his rivals are promoted to Division One. Lepri then is his closest rival, but we have some Lozatos drivers who are hungry for that position. Until then, my name is Gus the Goose, and I will see you when Formula Roblox Division 1